Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone, depending on where you are joining us from. And my name is Kim. I'm the moderator for today's session. And today I also have got my colleague, Fabio Di Bello, who will be our presenter for today. And today's topic is going to be on the about Wiley Online Library and how to maximize our search with our Boolean operators. So Fabio has got lots of experience in training on our online library platforms and the functionalities that that you will encounter during when you are navigating around online library. So do leverage on that and ask lots of questions along the way. And you may post your questions or comments under the questions tab, and then we will answer the questions throughout the session, or towards the end we will also have some time for Q&A session too. And if you feel more comfortable to ask in person, you can also raise your hand, and then we can unmute you, and then we can also take your questions online as well. And also, before I pass the time over to Fabio, I just wanted to dive into some of the housekeeping matters here. So you will be able to download a copy of today's presentation deck from our Handouts tab on the GoToWebinar panel. So do download a copy of the PDF, and you can follow through, or you can just follow through Fabio's slide presentation. And just to remind everyone that today's session is being recorded, and you will also receive a recording link to this session 24 hours after the session. And along with that, you will also receive a certificate of participation. And so look out for that email after our session. And without further ado, I'm going to pass the time over to Fabio.
Well, thank you, Kim, and welcome everyone. My name is Fabio, and this is basically the plan for today. So, ideally, I'd like to spend more time online demoing all the features and functionalities that you can use when you are searching and accessing the subscribed content on Wiley Online Library. And in particular, I'm going to be focusing on the value of using Boolean operators for searching precise, complex searches, eliminate noise, and increase relevancy of search results. So that's basically the plan for today. And finally, I'd also like to share some useful resources for those of you who are involved in the publication process. So if you are deciding to publish your research results, I'm going to be showing you some software that you can use that will increase the quality of your manuscripts and therefore the likelihood of acceptance. As Kim was mentioning before, it's always so exciting to run these global trainings, because we have currently more than 300 registrants coming from 50 different countries. So it's always so interesting to, share knowledge and experience with people coming from so many different cultures, backgrounds, languages, and so on. So please, don't hesitate to write your questions. I'm really eager to hear from you, and if you have any specific search that you would like me to run, please write it in the box. I'm going to be very happy to run the searches that are very important for you, rather than just the searches that I prepared. All right, so last thing I'm going to say is that you probably will see the captions. This is an AI tool that we implemented and that will automatically transcribe what I'm saying, or even translate real time in 150 different languages. And because this is a global training, I thought it would be good to have a transcription, because probably a lot of people in this room are not native English. So, and I am Italian, and I am based in Italy, and therefore I might have an accent that you are not familiar with. And so I hope you can understand me at the best. And in case you don't understand me, you can read the subtitles. All right, before we move forward, I'd like to just break the ice and launch a quick poll I'd like to know you better. And so the question I'd like to ask you is, have you ever accessed Wiley Online Library? So I'd like to know who of you has had any experience with using the platform and how often. So thank you for answering. Of course, the answers are anonymized. And so there's no right or wrong. We just would like to, better tailor this training, and would like to know, especially those of you who have no experience at all with the platform. We are giving you some more time to vote. You just have to click and submit. You should be able to view it on your screen. Great. Well, just 41% of you voted, but yeah, I can share the results of those of you who voted. Yeah, more or less, this is the turnover of an Italian election, so it's quite representative of democracy. So I'm going to close and share the results. So just 13% of you have no experience, and the majority of you have already used the platform, and some of you regularly, weekly, so it's great. So I look forward to hear from you, and especially, if you have had any problems using it or any advice on how to improve the platform, I'm here to listen to you. The second question I'd like to ask you is a little bit more technical, and it's going to be relative to the focus of this training. Have you used Boolean operators before? So I'm giving you some seconds to answer. Great. So I can share the results. And the majority, 56% of those who answered, said no. And that's great because, of course, we are here to show you how to use them and the usefulness of those operators. Now, for those of you who have no experience with Wiley Online Library, just a brief history of curiosity. I won't spend too much time here, but just wanted to give you a little background on Wiley. We're one of the top 5 academic publishers in the world. We've been on the business for many, many years, over 200 years. And it started as a small business, as a family business, and there are still actually members of the Wiley family as a part of the company nowadays. We're well known because of the work we do with researchers and professionals. We have partnership with the most important leading international scientific societies. As a matter of fact, nearly half of our peer-reviewed journals are published in collaboration with these societies. We're also very proud to say that over 450 authors who published their work with Wiley were awarded with Nobel Prize. Well, of course, I hope you're going to be the next one. But let's talk about content. Okay, so the core element of our offering is journals. We publish over 1,800 peer-reviewed journals. We cover pretty much every disciplinary area, over 500 primary subject categories, and we also break down into subcategories. And I'm going to be showing you on Wiley Online Library the different types of journals, what it means when you find an article that is open access or full access or free access. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a guidance on understanding what is that you can access and what is that you can't access in full. But besides the journals, we also offer access to our back files. Obviously, this depends on the type of subscription that your institution has with Wiley. So, you need to check with your library manager what type of subscription the institution has finalized with Wiley. But some subscriptions include not only access to a packet of journals, but also access to the back files, access to over 24,000 online books. We also offer access to the reference works, the current protocols. Then we have a wonderful product, which is called Wiley Digital Archives, where we offer 6 exclusive society archives focused on history of science and history of medicine. And finally, we also offer access to the EBM databases, evidence-based medicine databases. So all of this content is available and searchable simultaneously using keywords, Boolean operators, and I'd like to just provide you with a recap, an overview of the value of Boolean operators. As you know, we call them Boolean because they are coming from George Boole algebra. George Boole is the mathematician that in 1848 wrote the most famous books in the history of informatics, The Laws of Thoughts. And in this book, in this publication, The Laws of Thoughts, he basically created a mathematical model for computing logic, all logic that we use to reason. And that's why they're called Boolean operators. So and, or, not are the 3 operators in the algebra that allows the algebra to calculate the truth, right? So you have a number of sentences, a number of elements, you combine them together, and the algebra is telling you whether the final combination of sentences of affirmation is true or false. Okay? Now, when used on Wiley Online Library, they must be typed in capital letter, remember, and or not must be in capital letter in order to be calculated as operators rather than sequence of characters. Obviously, the use of these operators will make your search more precise and therefore save you time. Now, another element that it is important to remember is that quotation marks, okay, can be considered Boolean operators, and I will show you why. So the quotation marks means that when you need to search the terms that must be exactly next to each other in that order. So that's basically an and there is also a order, one word after the other. Then and means when you need to find 2 terms together on the same search results, but they can be anywhere. Okay, so they don't necessarily have to be consecutively in order. Or is used when either option will do. So only one may be present on the result. And then finally, not is used when you don't want to find something. So basically, the concept is removing one term from your result. Now, I talked about quotation marks. Quotation marks are used around a phrase that needs to be returned in that exact order. So it can be 2 words, it can be an entire phrase, doesn't matter. So in this case, social services, the search will only return results that contain the exact phrase social services. If you do not use quotation marks around phrases, each word in the phrase will be treated separately as if you use and between each word. So if you just put social services without bracket, the search will search social and services everywhere. Okay? Now, and the Boolean operator and narrows a search by telling the database that all keywords used must be found in an article for it to appear in your result list. Let's make an example. So you have history, you have photography, and means that the search results will be only the intersection, so the area that is between the intersection between history and photography. Now, if you are using or it broadens your search. So if you have viticulture and grape growing and use or, you are actually expanding the search results, and you are incorporating both elements. And again, or is used when you can express a concept using several synonyms. So if you have a lot of synonyms, you can put or between the synonyms and search for it. And finally, not narrows your search by instructing the platform to eliminate all terms that follow it from your search results. So in this case, communication, not marketing, the area is the purple one, is all of communication except the area including that is included in marketing. All right, so when we are in Wiley Online Library, I'm going to show you some typical examples, and so I'm going to be skipping this slide, and I'm going to be showing you these things live. One more thing that could be useful to make your search more precise or more relevant is the use of the wildcards. What are the wildcards? So for instance, question mark. Question mark in a search term represents a single character. Like for instance, for womb question mark n finds women or woman, okay? Or you can use an asterisk to represent 0 or more characters. For example, plant asterisk finds all words with that root. Like for instance, plant, plants, planting, and same thing if the asterisk is in between characters within a word. So an asterisk mia finds variants for 1 or more letters, like anemia or anemia, and so on. But remember that wildcards cannot be used at the start of a search term. So you can't just use asterisk at the beginning of a word, like asterisk extension. Okay, so you can't do that. Or for instance, you can't enter asterisk when you have a quotation mark sentence. That doesn't make any sense, okay? All right, now we are ready to go live. And obviously you can search alongside with me. And I will now switch the screen, and in the meantime, Kim, do you have any feedback so far from the screen? I mean, is there any specific question?
There's no specific question, but just to remind everyone, you will be able to download a copy of the slide that Fabio is sharing under the Handouts tab. You'll be able to see the Handouts tab at the bottom of your GoToWebinar panel. So you can download a copy of that. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so this is the URL address of the platform, onlinelibrary.wiley.com. Check with your library manager because you might have a dedicated link within the library portal. But anyway, for those of you who would like to access it, this is the URL. And if you are accessing within the campus or the university or the institution that has a subscription to Wiley journals or Wiley content, you'll be automatically authenticated to access those subscribed content. If you are accessing outside the IP range, then you may even use a VPN connection to your internet, or you can register, you can create a personal account, and I strongly suggest you to do that. So when you are at the university within the IP range, you see here register, you can click on register, click on individual login, you can fill in a form, and you can create your personal profile, defining username and password. And when you do that, you can access the entire subscribed content of the platform also when you are at home or in any location outside the IP range addresses of your institution. So the platform recognizes and stores the token at your registration, and that's valid for 6 months. So I'm now logging in so that I'm going to show you what's into your account. I'm going to be using my Wiley account, my Wiley email address. Okay, I'm getting in. Now I'm actually inside my profile. So I'm accessing the library with my personal account, Fabio. And if you click on your name, you will see my account, and into my account, you can add your orchard ID. And on the left-hand side, you have a control panel that will allow you to access your personal content, like, for instance, your alerts. You can manage your alerts. You can set up any alerts in the system. And we have 2 different types of alerts. New content alerts means that you are monitoring specific journals. So every time there is a new article being published in these journals, you're going to be notified by email. And by the way, you can choose the frequency of update. Citation alerts, these are the articles that I'm tracking. So every time there is a new article that cites one of these articles, I'm going to be notified by email. And here you can see also your saved searches. So these are my saved searches. And so I can run them manually, I can delete them, and I can see the frequency of alert here and the date I created. So you have a kind of central part that is dedicated to your researchers and to your relevant articles. And that's a cloud space that you actually physically have on the Wiley Online Library platform. So going back, I wanted to just show you a couple of things. First of all, the resources. Now, towards the end of this session, I'm going to be showing you a couple of softwares that are available under the author section, and especially in the submit a paper. So for those of you who are in the process of writing a paper, I'm going to be showing you something that will really change your life and hopefully make you more successful when publishing your articles. Now, here below, you find a subject taxonomy. So you can browse content. Like, for instance, if you're interested in medicine, you can expand and visualize the subtopics. You can pick up topics like, oncology and radiotherapy, and you can visualize the most recent articles and the most cited articles that falls under the oncology and radiotherapy taxonomy. Now, I told you before that each article may have a different padlock icon with different color and a different text. Now, free access means that this article has been published on a subscription journal, but the publisher decided to make it free of charge to for everyone to download, share, and use it. Open access means that the author paid an APC, an article publication charge, in order to make the article fully available for everyone for free. So everyone in the world can download the full text of the article, but the author is required to pay an APC. So when you see open access, it means that you can download the full text whether or not you have access to, whether or not you have a subscription to the journal. And if you go to most cited, here you will be able to view what are the most cited articles. Okay, just to show you some useful features and functionalities. When you open an article, you obviously opening up the metadata, showing you the title, the abstract, the authors, and you have the full text here, and you have tools. And if you click on tools, you're able to basically use 4 options. Request permission, that will basically make you land on the form that you need to fill out in order to get permission from the publisher to use the material published in this paper in case you need to use them. Export citation, in case, for instance, you wish to cite this article, you can basically simply copy the how to cite section and paste it into the references section of your article. And you can also download the citation, choosing the format and the type of import, and click on download. And also, if you are very interested in this article, you can track this article. Track citation means to create a citation alert. So this means that every time a new article cites this article, you're going to be notified by email. Or you can bookmark this article and add it to your favorite. You can share the full text using the social media, and therefore increasing the visibility and the promotion of this article. And then here on the right-hand side, you have a control panel with 4 tabs. So you can download each figure in PowerPoint. It's already formatted in PowerPoint, and also the citation is ready formatted for you. And each reference, if you go to the references section, each reference is hyperlinked to any external database. So if you have, if you wish to access the full record of Web of Science of this specific reference, you can do by just clicking on the hyperlink. Obviously, there are some resources that are free of charge, like Google Scholar or PubMed, but Web of Science requires a subscription as well as Scopus. So your access will be determined by the subscription that your institution has. Related is an algorithm that shows you the recommended, the most relevant articles that are connected to the topics that are, developed in this article. And finally, information is telling you the citation metrics, and also contains a widget to the Altmetric Score Attention, which is a platform that monitors all the captions and the mentions of this article throughout a huge number of sources that includes social media, patents, videos, and so on. So if you click on see more details, you'll be able to actually view summary. This is basically the original platform of Altmetrics. And so you'll be able to view here the timeline, the attention online of this article, the Twitter demographic, where and who cited this article. So you also have a geographical breakdown and demographic breakdown. And same thing for the Mandarin readers. And finally, the software calculates the attention scoring context, that is basically a high-level measure of the quality and the quantity of online attention that the article has received. Okay, and then of course you have different tabs here, news, blogs, so you can see granularly where this article was mentioned and by who. And you also have the link to the actual news that cited that article. All right, so you can see how it was cited, why it was cited, for what purpose, and whether it was appropriate or not. Then you can intervene to correct possible misunderstandings and so on. The same thing for blogs, or policy documents, or patents, and so on. So I find it extremely useful, especially if you are the author of the article, because you can control how your article is being talked about, and therefore the impact that your article is making on the, not just on the scientific community, but on the entire world. All right, so let's go back to the platform now. And now let's just go to the search functionality. So the easiest way to search for content is to actually search for a specific journal, a book, or reference work, and that's quite easy and very trivial. So when you enter the name of the journal, you will see an automatic search suggestion that will help you pinpoint the right journal for you. Like, for instance, in this case, the Journal of Neuroscience Research. I want to browse and access the articles of this journal, provided that you have a subscription to this journal. And first thing that you will see here is the journal metrics. So here you can see the most important citation factors like the cite score, the JCI, the journal citation indicator, and the journal impact factor, which is, of course, as you know, extremely important, because those are indicators that are being used to measure the quality of your research. But besides citation, we also add usage and speed. So you know what is the acceptance rate. So you know that 80% of submissions will be rejected. And you also know how long it takes for the journal to make the first decision after you submit your paper. So 3 weeks. And here you see what is the average time for the peer review process to complete all the tasks. So submission to acceptance. So this gives you important data to make your decision. And also, if you click on the overview, something which is really important is to understand the aim and the scope of the journal. Because when you submit any paper, the first check that the publisher do is to make sure that the aim and the scope of your article matches the aim and scope of the journals. Under the contribute section, you'll be able to find something which is crucial: the author guidelines. So the author guidelines must be respected in full. So if you decide to submit any paper to any journal within Wiley, you must make sure that your article is formatted according to the specifications that are indicated into the guidelines. So make sure that you follow these guidelines. Obviously, if you have problems, if you are, if you need help, I'm going to show you how to request for help. And we have 2 platforms that can help you write your article in such a way that would be acceptable for the editorial team. All right, so now, what does it mean to search using the keywords? Now, we have a basic search, and let's just say that I want to search for frontotemporal dementia. Now, as you can see here, very useful. you can search the key terms. Everything means everywhere. It means in the title, in the abstract, in the keywords, and in the full text of the articles when they are available. So if you click on frontotemporal dementia and click on the contact on the lens, you're going to be finding the results. And the results will be automatically broken down by articles and chapters and collections. And again, each article will have a padlock icon. So this is telling you whether or not you have access, full access to the article. If you see full access, it means that basically you can download the full text of the article because your institution has a subscription with Wiley. So the article would be for fee. So you would have to have a subscription to the journal or pay a download fee. But because you are affiliated with an institution who has a contract with Wiley, you can access the full text for free. Okay? And obviously, open access means that everyone can access the full text for free. Good. Now, on the left-hand side, you can see filters that will help you narrow down the search results. The first one is publication type. So you can filter by journals, books, reference works, or you can use the publication date. And you also have here the time span. The oldest of this article is from 1941. And but you can customize, of course, the time frame and make it smaller or bigger according to your requirements. Then you also have the open access status. So these are, if you flag it, it will show you just the open access content, so content that is accessible without a subscription, without having to pay a download fee. And then we have the subjects that helps you, again, narrow down search results using the taxonomy of concepts that we use to map and code the concepts within our articles. All right, so what does happen if I do the same search, right? So if I add bracket here, what does it happen? Adding bracket will dramatically lower the number of results, because this time I'm searching frontotemporal and dementia that are the two words next to each other. So basically, I'm eliminating a lot of noise, and therefore these results will be likely very, very relevant because they will all be containing frontotemporal dementia, and not just frontotemporal and dementia that are appearing somewhere in the text, but it's not necessarily correlated. So adding the brackets will make your search more relevant, more precise, will give you more, it will eliminate a lot of noise, but at the same time, you're restricting the search. So you are eliminating all the synonyms. So this means that if in one record, instead of frontotemporal dementia, the word FTD is being used, which is a synonym, which is the acronym for frontotemporal dementia, you're going to lose that record. Okay, so that is the kind of drawback of using the bracket. On one hand, you earn in preciseness. On another hand, you lose in potential comprehensiveness of your search. All right, now let's imagine that you need to perform a more complex search. And if you click on advanced search, You open up the module here, Advanced Search, and here you have different boxes where you can enter search terms and you can define the context. So you can define the metadata where your search will be conducted. So in this case, we can do something like that. We can start with dementia, and we can also enter or, and here, by the way, you have a recap on how to use Boolean operators, remembering that they must be used in capital letters. And also here, a reminder on how to use the wildcards. So, in this case, I'm adding some synonyms because I want to make my search more comprehensive and I want to minimize the risk of losing some potential relevant documents. So I'm including dementia or frontotemporal dementia or FTD. Okay? And then I want to combine it with memantine. Memantine is a drug which is being used to treat neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer or dementia. So in this case, I leave anywhere. Anywhere means that these terms are being searched in the title, in the abstract, in the keywords, and in the full text. Okay. And when I click search, I will get the results. And obviously, memantine is being searched together with dementia or frontotemporal dementia, but the Boolean operator is AND. So memantine must be present in the record together with dementia or frontotemporal dementia or FTD. Okay, so that's basically the meaning of searching. So remember, everything that you search will be used with AND. Another interesting thing that you can do, for instance, is in the advanced search, is, for instance, you want to know the contributions coming from, I don't know, Italy or France or India. So you can also pick up countries, and you see you can select authors affiliation. So what are the studies, the contributions, the publications that are coming from authors affiliated in Italy or France or India? So that's a complex search. We are just filtering out the publication by location of the affiliated institutions of the authors who published the articles. And here you can see the number of results, the usual search query, and the limiter in the author affiliation. Okay? So this gives you really an opportunity to be very precise, to create queries that really reflects your analysis. You can also search, for instance, again, I mean, like, or you can say, what are the studies that have been funded from USA or Russia? So this time, I'm selecting funding agency. So I want to know who paid the studies regarding artificial intelligence or machine learning in the area of medicine. And these funders are American or Russian. You can see here that this time we are finding all the studies that have been funded by an agency that is located in the United States or in Russia. Okay? All right. Now, obviously, something that I take it for granted, but you can change the relevance. So if you save this search and you just want to run an update, so you just want to retrieve the most updated records, you probably want to change the sorting. So you can change it to date. So this time, if you're running this search just to get the updates, you'll get the updates and you'll get the most updated records, so the latest publications. So you see here, this one is published yesterday. So this is just for current awareness, if you just want to be updated on the search. And the other thing you can do is to save the search. So you can save the search and call it AI, I don't know, AI medicine, USA, Russia. And then you just decide the frequency of update, weekly, monthly. Let me choose never, please, because I get inundated with emails. And then when you click Save Search, your search has been saved into your account. So if you go to Fabio, you go to my account, you go to Save Searches, this is exactly where you're going to be finding the search. You see, here it is. AI Medicine, USA and Russia, saved on 7th of November. Okay? So now this means that you can run this search anytime you wish, and of course you can just get the latest results. You don't need to get remembering to change the sorting. You can also export the citations. So there are a few articles that are extremely important for you or that you want to cite. You can just export them, and you can choose the format and the type of import, and then click on export. All right, so let me now check with Autumn. Autumn, is there any specific questions or something that I need to pay attention? I can see that
there's no
Rafi.
There's no question. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there's no particular question, but there's just one from Rafi about, the previous sessions that he has watched from the recording, but did not get the certificate of the session. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Fabio. I believe the certificate is only sent out for those who attend the live session.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, correct.
So that is why if it's just the recording, you don't get the certificate.
You don't get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And before we move on to the final section, is there any specific research, that you would like me to search? Anything in particular that you're working on? Please write it into the box. I'm very happy to run the search for you. Or if you wish to talk to me, just raise your hand, and Kim will unmute you. I want to make sure that this session has been useful for you, and I'm eager to interact with you. So feel free to write your search. If there is anything that you're working on, we can do it. We can run the search together, and possibly I can give you any advice on how to structure the search efficiently. Alternatively, we can move to the next section.
I think someone gave a suggestion.
Yeah, there is.
Please search composite matrix materials from agricultural waste.
Okay, so Now, how we can perform this search. Let's go to the advanced search. And what I would do, right, is I would break down the search like this. Now, first of all, I'd like to use an asterisk here because it is safer to use the asterisk because sometimes it's materials, so I want to be sure that I get everything. Then in this case, I might leave it just composite matrix material as it is, not in bracket, because I want to first see what type of results I get. And then I would combine it with agriculture waste, but this time I will add the bracket. Why? Because if you don't use bracket and you just use agriculture and waste, you will get too much noise. So I don't want to get noise. I want to get precise, relevant results. So this is what I would do, and I would leave anywhere because I don't want to restrict the search to the title. I would want to just search in the title, in the abstract, and the metadata. Do you agree with me? So let's search. You see, we get 151 results, and as you can see, they are sorted by relevance. And obviously, the oldest article is from 1986, but of course, you can restrict the search to the last 12 months, or you can just say, okay, give me just the last 10 years of data. So from 2014 to 2024. And you'll see that the number of results will, yeah, it's gone down, but not that much. So these are the last 10 years results. When you apply a filter, the filter will show up here. It's telling you that it's showing you just the results from 2014 to 2024. Rafi, what do you think about the results? I mean, you are the expert, so you can tell me whether or not those search results appear to be relevant or not. Are they pertinent? That's a question because I'm not an expert in this topic, so I can't really judge from the title. But you know, you are the one who can tell me whether or not this search is producing relevant results. Okay, Ali Raj is saying that the results is not returned with composite matrix. Let's see. I'm looking at the subjects. Just checking here whether composite matrix.
Sorry, Fabio, can I stop you there? I can't hear you. I'm not sure if it's just my laptop that's having the problem. Can the attendees just put a note and let me know if you are able to hear Fabio, because I can't hear him. Okay. Right. It seems like it's my issue, but so okay, Fabio, please carry on, because for some reason I can't hear you. Yeah, please go ahead. Right, thank you. Yeah, Fabio, for some reason I can't hear you, and right, so I can see that you have finished, and I will do the wrap up. So thank you everyone for joining today's session, and thank you for your comments and your participation in the Q&A session as well. So I hope that you find this session very useful, and do feel free to drop us an email if you do have any question, and do look out for the email for the recording link as well as the certificate of participation. So thank you very much once again, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you.